Hey there guys, Raj here, hope you guys are doing well. I've got a review for you today on a fragrance from the brand Frederic Malle. This is a brand who I always follow. Whenever there's a new release, I always like to either get a sample or get down to the store or a place where they are stocked and try that new release. It's a brand that I really respect. I think they have the whole sort of ethos behind the brand is great. I think their fragrances are really great. I don't always connect with them completely. And there's not that many I would say that I love, but there's a lot in there that I like a lot. And yeah, it's definitely up there as one of my favorite fragrance brands. So this one is one of the more recent releases. This one is called Rose and Cuir, which means obviously rose and leather. So I was actually given this sample when I was in. There's a store here in the UK. In the Burlington Arcade, which is like sort of like in Mayfair. It's a nice little store, and I got this little sample because I bought a candle, so I got a few samples, and they come in this little red atomizer, which is pretty good. I think there is, how much is in here? 1.2 ml, so it's a decent size, enough to get a good idea of what this fragrance is all about. In terms of the notes for Rose and Cuir, well, you have got in the top, there's geranium, blackcurrant, bourbon geranium. I've also heard timut pepper. And there is in the middle notes vetiver and cedar. They also mention cassis. So vetiver, cedar, cassis, and in the base there is this leather accord, which they say is attributable to the molecule isobutylquinoline. And it's quite interesting that they actually mention, Frederic Malle has done this before, where they mention the actual name of the, I guess it's like an aroma chemical, I'm not quite sure what the name is, so that's pretty good. Rose and Cuir kind of is a, oh no, sorry, a performance of this fragrance is pretty good. I got all day, almost all day performance, pretty good. Projection on the skin, it definitely does radiate off the skin quite nicely in the opening couple of hours, but then definitely settles to be closer to the skin. It is one of those slightly cooler weather fragrances, and you can wear it in a lot of different occasions. I think it's like, you know, you can wear it casually to work, you know, whether to a more formal occasion, whatever. It's quite versatile, I think, in that regard. So one thing that really came to mind when I tried Rose and Cuir is the name. So first of all, I was told actually that, and it's not mentioned in the breakdown, so I guess it's true that there is actually no rose in this fragrance. And that's quite apparent actually as the fragrance goes on. When I first sprayed it, I thought, oh yeah, definitely rose in this. But geranium often can smell quite similar. So the geranium is really giving it this kind of rosy feel, but I feel that geranium is more slightly like a waxy leaf. It's almost like you've got this thick leaf which you've opened or crumbled, and you've got a little bit of the moistness or sap, you could say, on your fingers. I kind of get that from geranium. It's not in the freshness like Geranium Pour Monsieur, which is a fragrance that I used to own from Frederic Malle and actually would like to have again in my collection, because it's joined by slightly more spicier notes in there. Also, I get a strong resemblance to French Lover, which is also known as Bois d'Orage, I think, in North America. And I really get that kind of like patchouli, vetiver, green foresty kind of feel, but there's a slightly more fresher feel with Rose and Cuir. It doesn't quite go down that path. I've done a little spray up from what I had left from my sample. Yeah, there's almost like slightly boozy element here as well, but nothing too strong. I've always got that feeling, but never quite sure where it came from. You do get a slight peppery, smooth, peppery accord in there, which is actually really nice. The fragrance kind of continues, and I don't really get leather. If leather was not in the name, I would, you know, really be struggling to, you know, I don't get it. Like, basically, you know, sometimes when an ingredient is in the name, it kind of makes you think like, oh yeah, there's leather in here. But really, if you just take a step back from everything, I don't get any leather at all. Like, it's not there. I'm sure this leather accord is contributing to the overall composition and the sort of olfactory impression, but I wouldn't say, I couldn't pick it out and say this is a leather fragrance. Definitely not. The name is definitely misleading, I would say. The fragrance is nice. Like, I do like it. It doesn't have a wow factor for me. It's not one of those that I think, yeah, you know, I would definitely like to go out and buy this one. And it's kind of like middle of the road, I would say. For me, French Lover is one of those fragrances that I thought was nice at times, but like didn't really do it for me. Rose Cuir I like a little bit more, but again, it doesn't really do much for me. It's a very nice fragrance. I think it's also very expensive. You know, 100 ml, I think of this costs £200, so it's a lot of money for something that doesn't really grab me. Yeah, just trying to think if I can pick up on anything else. I mean, it's yeah, touch of florals, green, peppery. I feel like it needed some more impactful notes to really push it through. Maybe the same notes but just turned up a little bit. I wouldn't mind it have spelling, maybe a bit more patchouli coming through, maybe more of the vetiver coming through. Doesn't quite go there. So overall, I'm going to give this a rating of 7 out of 10. Guys, over to you. What do you think about Frederic Malle's Rose Cuir? Do you like this fragrance? Are you a fan? Where does it rank amongst other Frederic Malle fragrances? Let me know your thoughts. Like and comment if you like what you see, and subscribe also, and check me out on Instagram. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.